Semkuruwe, my pastor, could district radio. I think we are at fault and we are responsible for the nonsense that we're seeing in the society. You're my pastor, whether across the board, because what's your take on the current state of like just the Christian community?
Yeah, that's where we're having so many challenges. Christian community, okay, number one has been divided. Now that we are divided, there used to be a thing called the body of Christ. Now the body of Christ, the end is in Bulawayo, the legs are in Kwekwe, because everyone is doing things that Christ never did, never said. So we have a crop of pastors, number one, that do not respect each other. You see, because respect, she started off.
Respect is end or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, as it is end, what does it cost you? Kungo respect any person, because we looking at any man of God, respect. But now because they are all divided, everyone is saying nonsense. This one is saying this, the other one is coming in to correct this one. Then now you see pastoring has become a very controversial job. Being a pastor, without
further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bold Exchange. I am here with someone you know as comic pastor, but today I am having a conversation with Prosper Chamama from Epworth to London.
London Bridge, number one London Bridge. So it's one of those things that happen in life. It's not something that you should have prepared and say, when I grow up, I'll fly to London to do a show. No, not just flying, to perform for people that have gone to UK and entertain them. But it's something that just comes. You're doing your business. And you're struggling in your business. That's the worst part about it. You know your business is not always easy business. People when they say, hey, I'm minding my own business, it can be very difficult. Your business can be something tiresome. I did so many things, but in the end, God gave grace.
I like that, and that's the first thing that I want to touch on, and that's one of the things that I like how you structure. Because people always tend to think that you're a comedy man, but I know you as a business person. You've built a lot of like brands and businesses out there. You talk of Felinandi, you talk of one of my personal favorite, Nijo. You talk of all the females that you work with, and I like how you structure these characters because there's something that it's like you intentionally do it. The characters that come into your law firm, it's called me pastor associates.
Yes, it's a law firm.
Into your institution, it's like they are real people. It's like their stories are like, yo, next door pango. Like, tell me, was it intentional? And tell me the struggles and the challenges that you have built in your business.
So when we started the associates, associates were born because we used to share offices with Mr. Warara Warara and associates. Oh, yes, right. Warara and associates. So that's when we because in that same building were so many lawyers. So we decided, but we are also associates. Now we're creating an affiliate member where we have comic pastor and affiliate members. We're growing it. We're having so many people coming to the comic. But how we started is not even by identifying gift. I always tell people that gift is one thing, character is another. And there are so many people that have wanted to work with us. Zuru, there are so many people that will call you, come here, that's my podcast, and then you see, this person has got, I don't know whether it's called depth, but there is depth in every person.
Right.
And when you work with you for 2, 3, 4 days, we can see that, bora it's like taking me kuti comic to dongo hapana kama hapo saka dongo to row mid 2 minutes ingori one game
the goalkeeper 2 minutes mudo zodadu munanoketa
kana kuti
anazozikana
guys teka jeperwa yes there's a story kwa mtare uko ameno chiko club kwa mtare chine mwe mfana arigonzi club member but bora afari so there's depth in every person that we work with, that even if the comic pastor dies today, what we call the legacy of the comic pastor, the creation, how we create our own skits and everything. You will see it in Patricia, you will see it in Joe, you will see it in Comic Elder, you will see it in, because it's something that we have seen, and it's capable.
One of the things that people always say that money is the root of all evil, but I always try to say that ego is the root of all evil. And one of the things that I appreciate about you is that you've always remained humble and you've always extended a helping hand, whether it was to me personally when I was actually growing in my creative journey as well. How important is that in the art sector and the people that you've worked with, like to always minimize the ego and pride? Because right now I would talk to my manager, but like I still can interact with you the same way I was interacting with you 10 years ago. Like how do you manage the ego and the fame?
I don't even know how artists. Yesterday I was shouting at someone, I remember, because I called the person for a deal and they said yes to me, because they are Nyara. And then 2 minutes later, manager was on the phone out, and I'm like, if the person didn't want, angufana ngonditi handiskuda kawan handidizvo munhu anomboda unditenderedza ozondisa kuseri it's stupid. So what happens is when you become an artist, when you become someone famous, you're still the same person. It's just we live fake lives. Okay, yes, we live fake life because kutogeza, it's fake life. Kana uchida uziti uri kuda ngorama natural vingopinda kamtaoni nemabori pinda kamtaoni no real life usina kukwesha mazino, but we live fake life because we brush our teeth so that at least people will see us, they see us as better people. But at the same time, always know that nothing really has changed. You are still the same person. And also, I always tell people that in the end, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
Yes, in the end, we are all going to die. I need to tama papiro.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, no, I totally understand. And then I like the way you talked about Patricia and Ananijo and stuff. There's one element that I like about it, about like the people that you associate with in an era where we're seeing people having to wear skin tights and jumpsuits and to be half naked to actually be relevant. I like how I like the narrative that you're painting about the kind of art that and the kind of content that you're pushing out, where these are real people.
Okay, a good cook, I don't know, big rice ondo. Supu chete ya yemzondo yoyo munotoenzo but kwana kuti angatiwedzerei
roiko
rwana kudesa roiko pachino panepo wakanganisa recipe. So there are things that should just be natural, like acting, like music as well. I'll talk about music. Chiti inindoimba but
auto tune
ndingondisira awimbe. It's either okay, so people don't understand certain things that happen in life. It's either you are a good songwriter, cannot you are a good film director, but ausikuzia role yako. So wozona wakuda kuactor pamwe unotoziya makunyora ma stories. So ku associates you see kuti the people that you see in the front of camera, vatori vashoma pane vari behind, because also we don't just film. Kuna Cyprian, kuna Swiss, kuna Zezuru, kuna watina Zezuru futhi.
Mr. Nairobi, my spiritual sons angwa, but anyway, continue.
Baba million Marusa is got Zezuru, but anyway, Mazezuru. We've got these guys behind the scenes, and these guys also help us shape the Comic Percent Associates.
No, yeah, because the reason why I'm asking this, right, is because even if you look at people that you've worked with, you know, like for those who probably might not know, but you've been one of the people that were behind Felinandi like for the longest, right?
Yes.
Like what I wanted to say that there's an element
and nokushipa softly. I mean, no, I don't even know how my associates can push you out. They will push you out. We don't create a circle. I don't like my circles. You talk about my circle. My journalist and my circle. But I don't like circles. I like groups. I like family.
All right.
Family is good. So much family. Ukwanise kungweta jemsoro wako. Unouraji.
Exactly.
So when we have Patricia Kwanoenda, she is a brand ambassador of the Comic Pastor and Associates.
Alright.
Comic Pastor Kwanoenda, he is a brand ambassador of the Comic Pastor and Associates. I'm a brand ambassador to Nijo.
All right.
I can talk and sign a deal for Nijo. Kuti Nijo, diri panapa rutoti izvezvi ndasign mari tatopiwa. Why? Because I can send Nijo to any meeting. I know, and anodzoka naye mari.
I totally understand and get that.
Because zoitawo kuti ndikati zezuru uenda unopiwa ndozonzwa kuti izvo ndiri kwamutare komiki. But mari ndinayo.
Ndokusira pa inbox kana kuti she. No, I hear you. I totally hear you. And what's your take then on our current society? Because like the reason why where I was going with this is that what's your take on the current society? And you know, like I'm at 2000, and like what's your take on the current social fiber that we have in our society? Like,
okay, everyone wants to be a celebrity. That's the other issue. It's also when you grow up, we never wanted to be celebrities. Okay, the signs would be there. People now know me. Like when we say in the Katangro primary, ndaingo verenga news pa primary in 1997 makomo primary. Then the Canada kwamba maren. Ndiye mkomana. You don't know you are a celebrity. Uchero waenda kwa uchizungu, waenda because vaberekwa vakakona, vakawanda. But izvozvo zvega zvina kubva zvandipa pressure kuti kandatokura you have to look for a job, you have to work. So challenge yekuitika ndeyekuti vanhu vari funga kuti zviri easy. And because social media looks so easy, especially with TikTok, it's so easy kubvisa hembe, yes, but zvinokupa mari here, zvinoita kuti vabereki vako vasare vachinzi vabereki vacomic. Would you want to see
zvinovapa chiremerera?
Chiremerera is important, right. Not only to you as an artist, but to your family, to people that know you. Mdaro wako ari pamahwani kana kuti my father gengo kuparenya ndine baba wako mipasa ndifanayo ndirapa mwana panogona ita mwana anongonzwisira kana ari baba wako
munhu ari boya
ataitire but pane pombe kuti zvikanzi ndibaba
torowa mari uyo
wakutaura but
No, I totally understand that. And like, I like the fact initially when we talked about you from airport to London, right? You've been to the UK and you've traveled the world so much. I want to talk about the issue of immigration, right? Why is it that you always come back home? I want to watch aid my paper. Aid. Like, why don't you want to leave the country?
Okay,
everyone else is leaving the country. Why don't you?
Why? Who is everyone else? Because this one,
me and you, but I mean, why? Okay. Why?
So there's always been that time where Zimbabweans leave the country. Normally, when things are bad, not bad politically, but bad in rate-wise, bad in anything. Yeah. People start to say, "My, but nabasa ndakumbenda and everything." But kune vanhu vakato design wakuti these ones should stay here and make money.
Maketeka enyika.
It is my. Ndio patinopinda ipapo my. I tried to leave the country sometime in 2010, 2011.
Wakajamba boda because ungosina ETD my days.
And I didn't have passport, but kwaidiwa visa. Right. Remember, Josa kwaidiwa visa. My visa engaged around 5,000 rands. 5,000 rands engaged in sorrow but what happens is sometimes you go there. And then I always want someone who travels. Achizoti ari kunosvika kunoitei, ari kuenda pai, ari kunotanga rini. Zvekumbuda uchiti ndinonotsvaga rese.
Park station ndopanda kuzofonera
you put your life in danger. We tried. It was 2010, South Africa was doing a lot of construction and everything. We ended up in construction. Construction is not a good thing. Unorwadza, inoshandwa and everything. Unochembera, construction no pera bond. But the concept is, do you have something to do where you're going? If my money is here, if I can make 2K a month, if I can make 1,000, if I can make this a month, is it not safer here where I have you as well? Kutoona nasi ndakapresa kuti yangu yadzima pana Samora yondipusha zviri nani uko hauna anokupusha.
I totally understand that. And speaking to the UK, because we've got a really large audience in the UK, and most of the content that we're creating is being consumed by people outside there. Then you are there also. I want to ask Guti, like, how's life that side, and like, what are the pros and cons?
I've said it. I'll say it again. There's no social life in UK. there's no my friend, there's no neighbor, there's no, they live like as if, okay, I said it on one other program, that I know, ukada unditanga kuverengera kuti apa panonzi pani tichikwepo here ndotara apa ndepana apa ndepana apa ndepana apa ndepana kwete marani mangu chete nekuseri nekubata naye ndoziya amai bhembe. We have a social life that is so solid, that is so real, yekuti andirari nenzara ndinoziva kuti zezuro ripo ndokufonera exactly. But with UK you don't know your neighbor. Okay, as you might not know your neighbor, but ingorova mukadzi ingorwa imanheru polisi inoya from the same neighbor that you don't know. Usateerere mota yako, don't put the MOT on your car. Vanofona iti mota yapa nekuzopeda haina MOT. So they are nosy on things that do not concern them, and at the same time they don't care about your life, how you live it, whether you're broke, whether you're starving, whether you're dead, they don't care. So you miss one more when you're in the UK because there's no one to talk to. This is why when you see a Zimbabwean artist going, Angaveani, people just want to go there, interact, hug and greet, because you become what I call skin hungry. No,
I like that. And so at what point did you realize that now Apandashika? Like at what point whereby you'd be like, like at what point did you realize, this is it, this is now happening, I'm now here?
When I discovered that this is now my job, because like I say, but I didn't know it was God's plan to put me at a better level. So as an artist, sometimes my artists are not ambabasa. I know that I see a graft in and if you are a musician doing good in music, but when you graft kono shanda or tambira salary, there is nothing bad about being a musician who goes to work. Problem iriponde kuti the moment you was basa uchinda full into music, usat wa fully settled. My chances ekuti music inotanga ukunyudza are high. But when God saw that I now know how to create, I know how to book an event, I now know how to create a contract and sign it and get into people's offices and speak for myself. God said, now is the time. Go out, work, use your gift. But mu process yekugadzirwa kuti uite the real comic pastor, ine zvakawanda ezezuru. Ineka kushandiswa, ineka kudzidziswa kubata time, ineka kuitwa zvinhu zvakawanda. Exactly. You don't just wake up I'm an artist. I remember this day together on my visa. Pana artist ainza izve zvataura tari kuchitukuza yakabhukirwa tio. Ndikati asati akamboshanda kumwe aziye life. Akangokuti
anoitira vanhu vekuvisa achicelebrity. Fashionably late.
Avazviziye ki.
Hey, like there's an issue that's very dear to my heart, and you said when you're talking about being put in the furnace and to become an artist,
not an artist alone, a human being.
Yeah,
he has got to go through that.
Through that, yeah. And as a creative, and I remember, I think the last time we had a sit down, I was going through a bit of that phase, and I was a bit down, and because. Mentally, you are as a creative, mentally you are tested because unoti watobudisa chinyama ichi ndo chinyama chichi wotongona 23 views after 1 month. And so I wanted to ask how important, and like newafana arikuzvisungirira a lot, and there's a lot of high suicide rate, especially in men. What do you say to that, to the rate of suicide in men, to the how mentally well do you have to be in?
Let's deal with the 23 views first. Not 23 people knew you before you posted the video. Celebrate those 23 people. You don't know who the 23 people are. Kokana pa 23 pana strive masiwa. Na Elon Musk na Zuckerberg. You just chichiripo ndechekuti you want 1,000. But if the 1,000 are 20 ghetto youths very poor and broke,
Wi-Fi next door.
Wi-Fi Wi-Fi you celebrate the 23 because you might have an audience of 23 paying people than an audience of 100,000 and paying people who just want to watch it. So afana nokaita gig mahara. At times kunouya vanhu vese vanouya vachisupporta. But ukaita gig $5 ukaona vanhu kwauya vanhu 10. That's your audience. Thank God for that audience because they decided to leave their jobs and pay and come to your show. So, chiri kukonzera suicide. I guess now yekuva nema high hopes. Takakura tisina high hope. Takakura tichiti give us this day
our daily bread.
Ndoyatenda
mangorwa je bichedo auto that adira no buda night.
Yeah, taidripa zvedu taisa fubu taisa machira kumberi kwefubu kuti uoneke. But at the same time we didn't really have too much of a high hopes ekuti tichingopedza gwashi because isusu takakura zvakaoma. You are skuleganzi.
Yeah. Obaba vetu vavoshiwe. Siyayigena inale.
Obaba vetu vavoshiwe izingane. Rungotaura skuleganzima. So as we grew up in difficult times, our times we need where we know the time we grew up. Tichipedza O level waitogona ubva tonzi izvezvi enda unoita gadhi kaniwe unoramba basa rei because ndo zvaivepo. But now vapana vedu vari kudripa stereki uruchururuka
hauna phone him dead. It's just like imagine just phone. Like we never used to have access to a phone. Why don't kwereta jiro? Why does that ningi ndiani jiro rera ningi arushanisa this week saka apo ibina kunofana kuti uende schedule kuti jiro wada kwereta.
Unoremember majini akazosvika patime yaitwa kudhaya futi.
Pakambodhaya majini. Vaita tena vanhu vasuzi.
So imagine wakapfeka jini rakadhaya uri mutown. We had nothing really to say
to look forward to it.
We are big. But what we had was the mind. Tavene brain ekuti zvinhu zvese zvatiri kuita izvi tiri kungozviita in good spirit. Chinouraya vanhu is good spirit. Havana good spirit. And then without dripa haushande and then wamitisa mwana wevanhu accept okay ndozvaitika. Let me work my life.
All right.
We don't go through life the same channel.
True that.
So ukaonewe waenda kuPoland of wadeportwa wakadzoka, it's not the end of life. Ukaona warambirwa visa, haisi end of life. So what ndaramba
unoramba ne baby haisi end of life.
Haisi end of life. Kero baby rako katorona rina uchiruzira
and in and
okunamati. Anyway, ndrungoti but usavwa wati ndo pagumira upenyu. There's much to life. There's more to life. Zvekuti you don't have to kill yourself. Mota ikaroverwa waba mota kumba imota ndochinja taigonawo yedu chombe. Kuba mota waba mota yavayarovera. Usavwa wati baba wangu achandiwe vanongokurowa kana vachikurowa but haufe. Don't kill yourself.
I totally understand that. And you know, you being one of the most highly booked wedding MCs in the country, I wanted to ask Kuti, you know, you are always there when people are being joined together. When there's a divorce, and what do you think? Why is the divorce rate so high in the country currently?
I only got worried. One guy from the weddings that I've done, they are madam one, and I was so shocked. Like I thought they were living good and they were living happy. The rest of I started doing weddings in around 2014, 15. But one person.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's a high rate of divorce in our society currently?
I blame it social media. Then I also blame relatives. There are people who can't live their lives. So they want to try and live their life through other people. They will come tell you, mkazi asiyo chidai, mkazi. It's like someone telling you how to drive your car. Kuti iwe, who driver say komote? Inindi ka choose out in road to 1 over 3 ka 1. It's me. If I can do it and the car is going, that's it. Right. But because we have got so controlling families, people that can't live, people live their lives, people that want to know why you are eating my veggie, why you are doing this, then in the end they put pressure on people and people separate. But also some things where people are playing with bad people. Right. People are joining bad groups. People are reading funny, stupid stories. So you read, there's so much filter, and then there's so much competition. We have unhealthy competition, which is something that is not in Europe. Can I drive a Nissan March? It's a good car. Zvinzwisise kuti it's a good car as long as it takes you from point A to point B. If you're driving a Mercedes, it's a good car as well, because it's the main purpose of driving a Mercedes is just taking you from point A to point B. But now the society that we live in, especially in Africa, ane Honda Fit anainzi akatenga Honda kutozvitwa nemota. It's a car. It's a car. The purpose of a Honda Fit, driving you from point A to point B. To not compete and we compete over clothes, we compete over food. Or restaurant gavazi inotopisa kune tumwe turi kuzasuko kwekuti vanobva vatora mapicture obva vaita sevoisa netsoko dzacho apa. King, it's important, yes, it's important to live a life, it's important to be happy, but don't be pressured kuti manje kana comic vatosvikako isusu tofanira tozokuendawo next week. Guys, this is just food, this is just saka. Life, you have to understand where you're coming from, you have to understand unesane magoals. Autere marestaurant stereki kana uri munhu ari kuvaka. Because kana onekwa uri kuvaka uri kuchidwa simenti ndarainoset King ndozochikana 4 kuti iwe mabhiridhi akaugara achitaura kuti alright matails apera kuno kuchakati. You don't concentrate on anything, you don't worry about news zekunzi kune kwakati kuri kufarwa kune anonzi chanenge achiridza madj
mapiano.
You don't care about that, but because we're living in a world where there's too much competition, ukatadza kuenda kushow yaningi wakasara, ukatadza kuenda kwaningi wasara, kushow kwe kwaibhadhara $200. Not, I don't see a bag of cement in every dollar. I don't do that. I also go out and eat, but I don't pressure myself.
No, and then follow up on that. And what do we? Are we raising broken men in our society, or is there a lack of male role models? Whereby, we grew up whereby knew kuti idzinjonda dzinotosunda, and you're taught in principle, just morally principles, just how you respect. Right now, zvimwe zvatiri kuonawo kunzo.
It's because we zvatabva kuya kwekutanga kuya, our pastors, just a pastor, kungonzi mbomendisa comic ambonoenda kwapastor. Why is one a new perspective? But you are not pastor or WhatsApp. Exactly. You not pastor. Pastor Mataora was na sister Melo vari kumbo kwavo. Who's pastor? You going out there and trying to say mzandi tumevuti kwa pastor whatever. And we've heard so many stories about prophets, pastors, this and this. But way back, even if we don't care. But zvine respect. Vaisazvipublicize kuti oneka muri kuona kampana kari kundihosta ndekangwa.
Yeah, it's like now, it's like you're having a society where the pastors, it's not enough to stand in front of the people. They don't even want to be celebrities now. They're now competing with. I'm not trying to look for Jay-Z type of inspiration from a pastor. I'm trying to look for my morals are not for sale. I'm trying to have my moral compass has to come after you.
So I had a pastor, my marriage officer, Zenzi Madzivanyika. He was a chaplain by
AFM,
prison.
Right?
Prison. He was right.
Oh, right.
Zaiti. Ukazanditerera kunoko. He's just teaching boys. Ukazanditerera kunoko. Ndichasangana newe futi kujeri. So imagine kungoita kamaindi kekuti ndikazavateerera ndichitori panapa
ndakazosangana nawo ujeri
anenge ari ma1. So he just wanted us to be straight people, to be real and understand that life is a process. Chatatadza kunzwisisa is life is a process. You come from stage 1. Hakuna mwana anongoti achizvarwa akutoti baba mama anogona ane mapowers mwana yakangokura ingozoti okay baba dead, but tese tinofanira kubva pastage yekunzi akusvinura, akukambaira, akumira, akufamba. That's the same stage with life. You go to high school, you go to uni, you get to an attachment. Wotombetwa rafu attachment, it's normal. Wobva pa attachment, wotsvaga graft, worishaya, wodedzwa, wosapply, wesa ma-CV, wonzisha. Ma-CV yako takamaona but hatisi kukuda. Tiri kuda ane 5 years experience. Woshoti but ndoiona ku 5 years ndakabva chikoro. Wozodedzwa kwasekuru wako kuona 5 years experience uchitambira $20. Wozobva ikoko kusvika wakura wakuziva kuti this is life.
You are a very important voice in our generation, and You inspire a lot of us, and we respect the work that you've done. And I want to say personally here, on behalf of the team and everyone else watching, thank you for what you've done. And we're about to get to we're about to talk about one of the things that you hold dear, because I always see you at cricket matches, you always support soccer matches and stuff you support, and you've got so much love for this thing that's in front of us, this flag, this country, the thing that we stand for, that we all hold dear so much. What are some of the solutions that you'll suggest? Because we've always been hearing about the problem is this, what are some of the solutions that you would table as such an important voice as we are,
So when we talk of respect, respect, if I learn to respect you, Zezuru, in your circle, in your area of expertise, in whatever you do. Tataka garabana pa komuna chitambura nina uti light rakawandisa light ri. But data simu kati kwa zara ayo. Kuti light ri muku rakawandisa say koridzimeka. Ere dai show is now Buddha. But we gave them time. They were trying to set it up. They were trying. Pangu vateta ma mistake vachaona pa never umu post. But vano gonna kuma correct because that's where they have expertise in. Right. Tika respecta mapurisa ngoti mapurisa basa rawo mtaundi ndere kudai so nekudai iwo for respect awo kuti comic kana apinda mtaundi anofana kufamba nabo zvapera. But what we facing now is we don't respect anyone. No one respect anyone, be it on social media, because social media came in as a voice, but now it's being used to abuse everyone. And we can't control. So solution to Zimbabwe is respect. Right. If you are in your office, you are a minister, you are an MP, you are a councillor, you're who you are. And if you don't respect, usaka respect manje aitange kubasa ukwanise kurespecta une disrespect to your family kana
traffic utouya one way is
saka respect inotanga pa mwana wako mukadzi wako kune vanhu vanotadza kutrita vakadzi wavo bo vobva vauya kuvana votadza kutrita vana vavo bo akwanise kuchati respect isusu vari kunze. Why? Because arikuti inini kachitombo disrespect vabereki wangu, and tiri kutaura in the spirit yekuti takuisa cancel ukarova iwewe mari yerodhi muraini muri kugarwa, because cancel hauite kusiri kumaraini kwako muraini ukarova mari yetarewo muraini muri kugarwa vabereki wako, that's a sign of disrespect. Ukadya mari yezvibhorani, that's a sign of disrespect. Respect people. Talk respect all the way you want us to respect. You guys are tired, guys. Maona zvakaita mukomana akazatara. Maona zvakaita akatitra chakati. So let's learn to respect one another.
Do you feel Zimbabweans are ready to have conversations? When we talk of conversations, right? I'm conservative personally, right? Like I was a liberal, but I just converted to being conservative. Do you feel that Zimbabweans are honest enough to say comic pastor I know support Brian Mteki and it's okay, and to allow you your liberty to say my ideas are Brian Mteki ndio anofarira Alex anosupporta Linda Masarire ndio anomaya
wangu ka
then
Linda ndo wangu but mine tukushaya
Makeda Jones Chapman but
kushaya mari tibatsirewo tikukumbirwa even ma candidate akato nominate tibatsirewo.
So what I'm saying is that do you think Zimbabweans are now open to have that conversation to say yo this is are just his political views? But iye kompasa munatori bo atori nekits dzanochengeta padeni
we are not yet. We haven't yet reached that stage as a country. I don't even know how we've lost it. Way back around 90s, when Zoom started, Edgar Tekere, when Dabaning Stole was still alive, all these guys, pakamboita sekunoti paita kamukana kekuti vanhu vangota inindirwe Zoom, inindirwe kwa Dabaning Stole, inindirwe, and then that opportunity then started closing again, and people now do things in their bedrooms. And it's not even safe in your bedroom. You never know kuti mukadzi wako anomuka makusena achiti chi. Nekuda kwe-social media. Unengomanga utadza kumpanana mari dzemalashes nechichi. Mukadzi wako tomuka chida nezuro uyu akamuka achiti akaitaura zvekuti. You see. So it's scary now because we don't want to accept. We are just neighbors to South Africa, where Julius Malema stands in parliament and speaks whatever he wants, and then Musime Mane comes in and says whatever he wants. We here, our parliament, chaiyo yacho. Kuti titi ndiana anotaura, ndiana anonyatsotaura.
But mamlisa anotaura
one is independent, anapatika. Saka anotaura achingozi kuti haidi chero because ndiri wani para chero akadondrowa anondrowa wese.
At the beginning and the end of the fight.
So right. we pray that we allow people to have their voice. But when you have your voice, also respect. When I'm not a voice,
it always
overshare respect. The words, the choice of words. People don't have choice of words. People just say, "Chikopa." We are all human beings. We are bound to make mistakes.
What? So, sorry.
If somebody makes a mistake, no matter in the politician, give him space. Give him a time to correct his mistakes.
So, what's the biggest? Because you've traveled, you're well traveled, and like you've seen how other people in other countries interact. What's the biggest misconception, and what's the lie that the media has been painting about our country? Because the reason why we started trying to have this bold exchange, right? I mean, every country has problems, whether it's SA, whether it's USA, we all face problems. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to paint a narrative and create a narrative of saying, yo, we're proud to be Zim. That's the reason why this flag is even there for starters. What's the biggest misconception about Zimbabweans out there, and what can we do to help that narrative as content creators as well?
I guess where we've lost it with our media is, hakuna nyika isina propaganda. You have to understand as well. Imbonzi kwama British achitaura nezva Rashford kana kuti kanonza nemwe player Jack Grealish kana when Britain is talking about
Harry Maguire.
Maguire. Hear them talk about Harry Maguire. Hear them talk about the English team at the World Cup. Unofunga kuti vakatoitora kare changosara kuti vaite anditi. So every nation has got its own propaganda side. Hakuna nyika isina propaganda. And chinozoita kuti zviite kunose kunoti kunoko tinobva taita sekuti tiri kutambura zvekutotadza kumuka kuti tibrush toita kunge tisina toothpaste. It's one story.
True that.
And then tinoita sekunotonzi tiri muka. Zimbabwe I always tell people when I travel, it's a beautiful country. I love to see like what Nakamba did, bringing the captain. Come see Zimbabwe. It's not only kamkoto kuti unotopinda bag ne uyu but it's a big, beautiful country. And we've got people who are intelligent. Let's just give each other our real positions. Tingogadzikana ngoti uyu ndiye king. Pa board chess king. Awukwanisisa mapono mashure kuti aiwa ndo strategy yangu mapona ntanga ari mashure. No, you can't. Put the pawns in the front. That's what we know. Saka awukwanisi kungozomuka makuseno kati nasi ndotanga king ari kumberi.
No, continue, man.
So watiri kufela kungoisana pama right positions. Let's paint the good picture about Zimbabwe. Let's paint it good. Let's fix our problems as a nation. And when we fix our problems, we become lovable people. And
I like what you're saying and what you talked about respect. And because in anyone, the way my view, and it's probably might not be the most popular of opinions and views, I believe Paneka theory yokunzi vanhu zvinotanga, but I believe kuti currently, right, yes, as much as everything is wrong and things are broken and stuff, and we're going through challenges and whatever we're facing, everyone goes through challenges. I believe one of the biggest problems that we have currently is us as individual human beings.
Exactly. We are not going to fix it.
Traffic here, and we're not
Exactly. Where you go to SA, first come, first go. First come, first go.
When I unenge uchifamba so munhu otoya kuoncome in akutokuflashira kuti jamani budai muroad inini kwanduke na
Cakeman. Uri muna Cakeman.
So how do we fix the individual problem that we're facing?
okay, so challenge yaitika ndeyekuti vanowana information vashoma pane vanoishaya. So this podcast will be watched by 43,000 people. These 43,000
Professor 100,000.
All right, 100,000 people. I receive,
Papa.
All right, 100,000 people. And these are our people already. Vatagaratii now.
All right.
Ndivo vanhu vacho vanototi aiwa zvinhu hazvifanire kuita sekudanzwa. Ava 14.7 vanhu vari kushaya information vasiri kuwana. So now, this is also the other job and duty of TV,
right.
the national broadcaster, the newspaper. Let's try and have a show on TV that tells people about etiquette. That tells people about how you treat your neighbor. Hey, made the case. Guys, tinonzwa munhu akauraya pavho ndeo nekuti anga bumper mota yemunhu, mota ine insurance, mota inopolishwa
full cover yeah.
Tonzwa kuti akatouraya munhu atomukati. Don't you see that we are failing as a nation to understand that you get accident, Buddha, you know the laws of an accident. When you are involved in an accident, call the police in 24 hours. Saka kune mama accident kutoti munokona kuti hande kumba totozofonera police tako but takaita accident nezuro todakuisa report ndakadhuma munhu tikadikika within, because not within 24 hours. Pane pamwe kuti mangokweshana paside kudai muroad mungomira paside mokonzera congestion yakakura kudai. But zvinhu zviri kunzwikwa nevanhu vanowana information. Asingawani information achangoti papu changobhamburana naye akutongokuda nenako dust vagora munhu.
Kule nyendo futhi efuna uyikhuluma ukuthi mfumbuzo ukuthi, because this has always been a cry ukuthi abanye bacabanga ukuthi there is a bit of marginalization xa ubuya kuma arts and opportunities akhona elizweni leli.
Bazama ukufixa ngamanamba.
Ndiko kutsho ukuthi every number there's always a token material artist that will get an artist. I'm sorry, it's a fact. If you don't like that,
nasemtari sebakwenza.
So how do we fix this gap that we have phakathi kwabantu abelizweni leli, whereby everyone feels represented and feels loved in this country?
I go to Bulawayo now and again. I see Bulawayo artists.
It's like saying I've got black friends, but continue.
Right. So I travel to Bulawayo now and again. I meet Bulawayo artists. I tell them that the space is here. There's no one who's gonna hand it over to you and say,
Nanku,
this is the space for Bulawayo. Zimbabwe is as big. When you start now. But if you're watching this, I've spoken to you about this. If you're watching this, I've spoken to you about this. Mandla, the comedian, I've spoken to you about this.
Well, right?
The Sipo, I've spoken to you about this. Why? Internet is an open space. It's a field. How we got to know about Calvin, the late Calvin, was not because he had come to Harare. He was just a good artist as Calvin. Sandra Ndebele becomes the only brand ambassador, and they are the only two brand ambassadors for so many things in Harare because they are there. They are just there. So you can't be hiding and saying, Sisebulawa. What are you doing? Douglas Moore is not from Harare. She's from Dar.
I'm from Bulawayo as well.
Okay, so there's space for everyone. I always tell people it's a big cake. There's a piece for everyone. You can't complain. I know there are certain things like radio. Now radio has got a way of sending your music to Star FM. There's a way of sending things to ZFM without you boarding a bus from Bulawayo to say I'm going to hand over the
physically.
Yes, so send it through. Send it through on email. This is my music. I'm from Bulawayo. Get a profile. Manje artist ana profile. Artist aringoti email ainyore email artist. Akwanise kuti mokomba performs mu Apollo from Binga, Victoria Falls. You go out because inini I'm from Gweru. Saka ona Gweru manje iri pakati nepakati saka ukavatido. Who said that? Who said that? Nakamba is from Binga.
And I just want to ask you so with the content that you create, right? Are your kids and your kids, your family, are they safe? Do you feel like they are safe?
They're not. I create things. Okay, not in every day. I don't create. I create things here and there, which I always knocked up and I Muriango Parisk. And then I sometimes quickly. rakaisa inini rangoda kungoti ora razongonovhurwa rimwe peji varapurwa peji revha rambonzi iri peji mukuridzi here but hazvina kunyanya kundiafecta zvazvo but there are things that you do. It's okay. We as artists have a way of telling you guys in power kuti this is the situation on the ground, whether you like it. Kana matozvinzwa mazvinzwa. What you do with the information is up to you, but we try and
that's actually your job as a comedian.
Yes, as a comedian, I move around over number town. I would but and this is I hate my country. It's because I'm saying it for you to know what you. I know they know, but sometimes zvikataurwa panetwa action. I remember one day pane time yakanzi makombe akuperera Coca-Cola. I said I did a skit by day end. Exactly.
Hey man, thanks a lot. And what's coming past and associates working on currently? Congratulations, only Joe's got a new.
Hey, we went to see. We had the godparents, me and my wife.
Nice.
He's an amazing kid. We gave him the name Waishe. They gave him Malachi, so on Malachi Waishe, which means messenger of the Lord. We had some projects that we're doing. Nijo is doing a good film called Crossroads. It's coming back in July. And then there's been a film that we're still working on. We wanted to be a good film. So we're looking at what we did and we're seeing, is it worthy giving to the people or should we delete and start again? So it's a process. We're still looking at it content-wise and saying, is it good or can we just release it as we always do, Mass Kids? But it's a good film. It talks about drugs. It talks about someone at university who becomes a peddler unknowingly. In the end, so it's a good film. I'm not in the film. I was the one directing.
Executive director. Chamama. And actually, I wanted to ask just one last question though. Like, do you feel like, and so that people understand, because I don't forget, do you feel like people understand the value that you bring to?
Not yet. And I was saying it again. As artists, we have a value, and there's a value that you give yourself, and then unoda umwe munhu kuti evaluate. But kuevaluate kungoona kuti zvauri kuzvichaja izvi ndizvo here zvaunofanira kungochichaja, because kune maartists anongoti ingonipa 20 handongorwa 20 manisira 40 to pay 2 to 10 anditi unogona kutorarama 10 years uchingodya ma20.
I remember like I had a problem pricing in photography. Waindoona kumzvichado zvisina basa baba.
Muchato kusvika wazoziva kuti aiwa kana zvakadaro kamera inorara ichitonhorerwa zvairi paside aitore aishute. Why? Because value is something that you can give yourself and say I'm worth this, but then you need someone who says comic with where you are and where you've been. Now if you do this, if they don't want starve, chinhu chinoita kuti tichaje less inzara. Kana une nzara you can take $10 and disappear, but kana wazvipira kuti ano unotoudza vanhu kuti aiwa haita ikwani votoenda votonobatanidza imwe mari vodzoka.
Alright.
But ukavaregerera vanotogona vachiudza kuti akandichaja 50 iwe ngomuti nde 50. And then you have a line of 50s that won't help you do anything in life.
The last question we always try to ask every guest who comes on the show: what are 5 of the key things that you think people should know about Zimbabwe, about how wonderful Zimbabwe is?
We are loving people. We love foreigners. Nigerian. We try and create a conversation. So how is Nigeria? We're different from all these other idiotic countries.
Right.
We want to know. We are inquisitive people, and in our inquisitiveness, we learn. Every Zimbabwean here, now and again, why? Because we are always learning people. Right. Number 2, kubirwa kubirwa kona uzoti wabirwa muHarare uchingozvifambira hako but totobirana pachedu totobirana pachedu. We are not thieves, we are not born thieves.
All right.
It's because it's a trade vafana vanoita zvechadonha, it's a trade. You can't take that away from your society. It's part of the society. It has to be there. Kungomutsa mumwe munhu. You can't be sleeping in
welcome,
yes, it's a welcome. And then number 3, I think we are also not more of criminals. I love the way that we deal with issues. Now that we have a few guns, robbery, we never grow. Anyway, robbery, yairara usiku ihoho. Vakomana vacho vabatwa vese. Nowadays that we have this new thing where people are just, it's not good for our country, and we have been a good country for almost 40-50 years now. As good as we were. We can't change because of our neighbor.
All right.
To go down change one neighbor, which is very wrong. Let's remain religious. Let's not forget that there's a God, there's a power, there's Allah if you're a Muslim. There's a power somewhere, right. And that also keeps you as a society. Amuso nyanya kuita too wild. So people are now forgetting. And then was a weekend. Was a weekend. We are wild people. We are becoming so wild. It's a new generation. Yes, we understand. There's new things coming. And then number 5. I believe we are very political. Every Zimbabwean is political.
Tell me about I wanted to ask you that question though. We are a big fan of soccer, and like, what's your take on the state of the current ZIFA SRC situation?
No. I need to speak to Kirsty. This is not a joke. I need to speak to Kirsty Coventry. I need to sit down with her and let her know that a club has got a minimum of 15 or 16 players. They have families. 16 times 18 clubs, plus management, plus staff, plus other people.
Exactly.
Football is a business, it's an industry. And ngatingoisa mabageti sitsi my plastic tine ma China anogadzira ma plastic tongoisa my plastic chikunetsa chi. And then now we have got SRC saying this. Now there's now competition. It's not even competition because they are not even in line. Vaskana netball varikufana kunominate ndo parikutarwa team netball in the World Cup. Turikusiwa cricket. Cricket yatora munhu wese yaenda yatorwa nemageto yuti mageto akutoziva kuti uyo ndiye
vakazara Philip Chiyangwa. But anyway, guys, it's been an awesome show for the Bold Exchange.
Wakatadzirwa era Philip Chiyangwa.
Munoziva kuti Philip Chiyangwa akadriva Michael Jackson vakauya muZimbabwe.
Ndiye akadedza Pepe kale. Ndiye anotonzi Chiyangwa.
Saka Philip Chiyangwa ndiye angari Jinimbi wa Michael Jackson. Remember Jinimbi akazopedzera angodriva ma-artist paanongoya chingonotra. But anyway, it's been another episode of the Bold Exchange. I'm here with the comic pastor. Thanks a lot for coming through. Say, you guys.
Wrong zokda. Wrong zokda.